Hello, everybody. This is Douglas Helvey speaking to you tonight from my residence in Bridgeton, North Carolina, an otherwise quaint little community in the downeastern portion of eastern North Carolina that I have now lived in since January of 2014. My discussion tonight is about blatant discrimination. Blatant discrimination that you would think was something of the past. But apparently in the South, the market has been cornered on this kind of thing, especially in small town South. On the 14th of September, which was a Monday, at 12:15 in the afternoon, I, Douglas Eugene Helvey, 59-year-old, 100% disabled American veteran of 20-year service to the U.S. Navy, and a Lord High Priest of the Wicca faith, and a minister of an actual Wiccan church in eastern North Carolina, went into Fisher's Fuel Market in Bridgeton, North Carolina, to purchase a lottery ticket. I went in there at approximately 10 after 12 that day, and as I have done before in front of other clerks in that particular store, with no problem, in fairness to add, I took off my necklace, which happens to be a pentagram, with a little machine gun looking thing attached to it, which I happen to like. And I was using it as what some people might call a dowsing tool or a pendulum to potentially help me pick a nice winning ticket. Does it work? Well, I haven't bought my new car yet, but I'll give it a try every once in a while. Well, anyway, I was attempting to do that and I'm going to use her name because at this point I don't care. Carol Wallace, who was the attendant clerk at that time with no less than 5 other witnesses in that store, yelled at me, "Hey, you stop doing that witchcraft shit in here or I'm not selling you any lottery tickets." I stopped. For a moment, I had thought I had entered the Twilight Zone. Because here I am, a 59-year-old man being talked down to by this lady, and I say that begrudgingly, about an innocent thing that I was doing to help me potentially choose a good lottery ticket. So after a couple of moments of realizing that apparently I was dealing with a complete idiot, I decided for that moment to ignore her and to attempt to douse my ticket again. She yells at me, she goes, "I'm not kidding. You do that witchcraft shit and I'm not going to sell you any tickets." Nope, this is a Fisher Fuel Market owned by the Fisher Corporation. Anyway, then she says, "Well, I might sell you one ticket, but then you'll have to leave because you're not doing that witchcraft shit in here. It goes against my religion." At that point, I decided that after I had been talked down to like a dog by a Fisher Fuel Company employee named Carol Wallace, that I was going to leave that particular store. As I walked out, she said, "You can call anybody you want. It's against my religion." I turned around and looked at her. Oh, and by the way, one of the comments I said before during her conversation toward me was, "Lady, you are out of line." And that's literally the only words that I've said to her then and since. So I walked out the door and I said, "Don't worry, I will be." As of this date, I attempted to contact Leslie at the Fisher Fuel Market's main office in Riverdale on the east side of New Bern, going toward Havelock, North Carolina, via a phone conversation. Her assistant answered and took my calls at least 2 to 3 different times, of which I remained pleasant. but I informed her of what had happened, and I had wanted to talk to this Leslie person. Well, Leslie never returned my phone call. So the next morning, I try to call Leslie again. I get through to Leslie. The moment I said my name, "This is Douglas Helby," I heard a click. She hung up on me. I try to call her back 4 or 5 times. I get her answering machine. So Fisher Fuel Markets is ignoring this process of me being discriminated against. And as a matter of fact, as far as I know, that employee is Carol Wallace, is still working for Fisher Fuel Markets. And there's no telling who else she has discriminated against in there. If she'll do this to a Wiccan, maybe she'll do it to a Muslim or a Jewish person. Maybe she'll do it to an atheist because it's against her religion. I wasn't aware that North Carolina had become a theocracy in which one religion ruled the whole damn state. Guess what, folks? I'm not standing for this trash. I've stood up for my faith before, and I'll do it till my last breath. And I'm going to let this, if they want to ignore me all day long and twice on Sunday, I will keep going out there and I will keep protesting in front of their store until that moron loses her job. Nobody, but nobody, has a right to discriminate in the sale of lottery tickets. As a matter of fact, the North Carolina State's Lottery Commission and told them about this incident very clearly. They contacted Leslie at Fisher Fuel Markets in Riverdale section of New Bern, North Carolina, and she confirmed to the North Carolina Lottery Commission that Carol Wallace, who is currently employed at Fisher Fuel Markets in Bridgeton, North Carolina, did in fact discriminate against me. Do you know what I've heard from this company so far? After I got thoroughly humiliated and embarrassed by this employee, which it took me great restraint not to say anything ugly back to this person of lesser intelligence. Great restraint, trust me. I have heard crickets chirping. I sent a letter to Fisher Fuel Markets demanding any number of 3 things should occur. Elsewise, this is going to Lady Liberty League, which I've already turned the information over to, which is a pagan and Wiccan legal organization that helps stand up for people of minority religions around the United States. It's been turned over to them. It's been turned over to the North Carolina Lottery Commission, which has also already verified that this egregious act of discrimination took place against me, Douglas Helby, a 100% disabled U.S. veteran of 20 years naval service. It's also been turned over to the North Carolina branch of the ACLU. So, I'm calling out Fisher Fuel Markets to do something about this. I got discriminated against in one of your stores. I want the following to occur, or this is going to go all the way to the top. You will fire this woman, this moron. You will publicly apologize to me for this egregious act of religious discrimination against the disabled American veteran. And frankly, I think I deserve some kind of financial recompense from your company for the this disgusting act of religious discrimination and this woman talking down to me, not going to let it drop. Trust me, I fought this issue before, and I've stood up to congressmen personally. This ends this commentary. Douglas Helvey, HM2, U.S. Navy, retired, field medical corpsman, 100% disabled veteran, religiously discriminated by an employee of Fisher Fuel Markets Incorporated. And that employee's name is Carol Wallace.